Hey, 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 beautiful people. What's going on? It's your girl, Linda S. Hustle, the Bodacious Lifestyle Coach, with today's edition of Lunch and Learn with Linda. Listen, I am going live using StreamYard. I love this platform because it allows me to get really busy with this whole live situation. I'm going live on my personal page, my Bodacious Black Women Over 50 Facebook group, as well as my YouTube page. And thank you all for joining in with this platform. Some of you may see a link that says grant StreamYard permission, so that if you want to comment, I will actually see your name instead of it just saying Facebook user. So if you see that, grant StreamYard permission to let me see your name and we will get started with that. Today, I'm talking about reinvent yourself. 3 ways to reinvent yourself. If you are listening to the sound of my voice, please share this out. If you are on my personal page, please share this video out. Now, I decided, first of all, let me talk about, someone said, well, Linda, why do you do lunch and learns? What's that all about? Well, as the Bodacious Lifestyle Coach, and for those of you who do not know me, I am Linda S. Husser, the Bodacious Lifestyle Coach, founder of Bodacious Black Woman, a lifestyle and self-development brand, as well as Bodacious Life Academy, where I have courses, workshops, and programs to teach you how to be the bodacious badass that you know you are born to be. So I want to start this Friday off by asking you a question. Do you feel like you need a reinvention? Just do you feel like you need a reinvention? Just right there. You don't have to say what you think the reinvention should be or anything like that. Just do you think that you need a reinvention? And what does reinvention mean to you? Yes, yes. I see Facebook users said, yes, you must be on my personal profile. And for whatever reason, it just doesn't let me say it. Amen. Yes. Do you need a reinvention? Yes. I became the Bodacious Lifestyle Coach, y'all, because I needed a reinvention. I did hair for 30 years. I walked away from my salon October 2020. October 2020, because it wasn't that I hated doing hair. I loved hair. I loved the people. I loved what I did. I was very passionate about that. But y'all, it was not my purpose. It wasn't my purpose. And a lot of times we'll get caught up in our passion, but not realizing that's not our purpose, but our passion will usually lead us toward our purpose. Okay. So if you feel like you need a reinvention, just put in the comments, I need it. I see you, Jacqueline. You said I need it with 2 exclamation points. Yes. So I needed a reinvention. And when I think of reinvention, I think of finding my zest, my zeal, that spark, my swag, my flavor. You know what I mean? I had lost my zest and my zeal. I was going through the motions in life, right? I was going along to get along, but life wasn't really exciting. I wasn't jumping out of bed excited. Are you jumping out of bed excited? Yes, about to retire, so you need to reinvent yourself for that lifestyle. Well, listen, when you say retire, I like to say retread, right? Let's retread. You getting ready to put some more tread on that tire, okay? So that you can go into your retirement on full throttle. So when I talk about reinvention, I reinvented myself. I was Linda the hairstylist. And I decided, because I was a bootleg therapist anyway, right? If you are a woman and you have been to the salon, you know that you tell your stylist all your business. Can I get an amen if you tell your stylist all your business, right? Can I get an amen? Can you put, yes, Linda, so true? Put something in the comments to let you know that it is the truth, right? And so I was already giving my clients all kinds of advice, and they were taking my advice and loving my advice, and their life was changing and all this good stuff. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I am pretty good at this. And it's okay to blow your own horn. See, y'all, it's okay to blow your own horn. If you are the ish, then declare that to yourself. I am the ish. I am all that in a bag of chips. I am woman, hear me roar. There is nothing wrong with saying that. So with that in mind, I needed a reinvention. I was 50. In my 50s is when I realized, my early 50s, that life as I was living was cool. It was okay. But again, I wasn't fired up. I wasn't sparked up. And I was thinking, yeah, I'm good, but I want to be great. I'm good, but I want to be spectacular. I'm good, but I want to be like brilliant, like badass. I wanted to take my life to the highest level that I could take it. And that was going to require me to reinvent myself. That was going to require me to do things different. Good afternoon. That was going to require me to do things differently. And that's one part of reinvention. The first key is you got to do something different. I know that sounds so simplistic, but some of you are out there trying to quote unquote reinvent yourself, staying the same, reinvent yourself, doing the same old things, reinvent yourself in the comfort zone, which is what I call the dead zone, because nothing grows in the comfort zone. So why do we just sugarcoat it and call it the comfort zone? No, let's call it what it is. Nothing grows in the dead zone. Nothing takes seed, nothing takes shape in the dead zone. So the first thing you got to do is something different. Put it in the comments. Something different. You got to do something different. You got to do something different. So for me, what different looked like for me is I actually became certified, right? Went to the life coaching school, became certified. I had to do something different. I'd already gone to cosmetology school. I'd already taken all kind of workshops on how to weave and how to cut and how to color and how to press and how to curl and how to, yes, Jacqueline, something different, how to cut, how to curl, how to press, how to flat iron, how to weave, how to find the good hair, right? Because I started selling hair, I had to learn how to do something different, because that's all I did for 30 years. And some of you listening to this, and if you're catching the replay, what's going on, beautiful people, but some of you listening to this have been doing the same thing for a long time. Let me know if you've been doing whatever you've been doing now for over 15, 20 years. I just want you to put down in the comments, how many years have you been doing what it is that you're doing? When you've been doing something for the same time for a long time, it's not as easy. 30 years, Jacqueline said 30 years. It's not easy just to flip the script, but it's possible. See, it don't have to be easy to be possible. 20 years. See what I'm saying? We got 30 years, we got 20 years now. And when with this happening like this, y'all, we got to start retraining our brain. So the first thing, 18 years, yes. So the first thing we got to do is something different. You've got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. You got to stop playing double dutch with your life. You got to stop. I think I might. Oh, no. I think I will. Oh, I don't know. All of that stuff. You got to stop playing double dutch with your life. So we got 30 years from Jacqueline. Someone else said 20 years. Another person said 18 years. Yes. Now, we've been doing the same thing for so long, and they say that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and y'all are not dogs by any stretch of the imagination. But the first thing we got to do is get out of that. So what we need to do is do something different, and the only way we can do something different is make a decision. So that's the first step to reinventing yourself, is deciding that you're going to do something different. Deciding to do something different, right? You lost your rhythm after a burnout. Absolutely, Jacqueline. Listen, we got to make a decision to do something different. Just do that. And here's the thing. Don't try to figure out all at one time. That's another thing that we do. We can't reinvent ourselves because we try to figure it all out. No, just make a decision to do something different, right? You're going to make a decision to do something different. And then the next thing you're going to do. So for me, I decided that I wanted to become a life coach. I loved what I was doing. I love people. See, being in the salon industry, I was surrounded around women. So again, after a while, after I started getting older, I started thinking about, what's my purpose? What's my divine assignment? And a lot of us That is the next thing. After 50, we usually start thinking about, okay, why am I here? What's my divine assignment? What am I supposed to be doing? I don't know why we don't be thinking about that like in our 20s and 30s, right? But 40ish and up, we start thinking about that. So I didn't just keep thinking about that. I started acting on that. And that's what you got to do. That's how you really reinvent yourself, is you decide to do something different. You just decide. Just decide. I just want you to put in the comments right now, I must decide. I must decide. That's the first thing you have to do to reinvent yourself, is you've got to decide. You got to make a decision that you want to reinvent yourself, right? And a lot of you are trying to figure out all the steps. Just say, I must decide. I need to make a decision. I am deciding. Or you can just put decision. But that's the first step. You got to decide to do something different. You cannot reinvent yourself doing the same thing. You must decide. You can't reinvent yourself doing the same thing. That's not called reinvention. Reinvention means to redo, re-inspire. You know, you're certified, you did the schooling a few years ago or tried to do too much at one time. Yes, Jacqueline, yes, 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 you must decide, okay? So with that in mind, after I made my decision that I wanted to do something different, that my life wasn't giving me that spark, that zest, that zeal, and I said, if I live to be another 30 or 40 years, it is not going to be like this. It is not going to be like this. So I made a decision. I had no idea what I really, really wanted to do, but I knew I had been on my feet for a lot of years. My hands were starting to tighten up, my wrists, my shoulder. It's hazardous doing hair after a while. So I knew I needed to do something different. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but I still love women. I still love talking to them, giving them the advice and all that. And I was like, ooh. And one of my clients actually said, you know what, Linda? This was confirmation for me. This was before I had even decided what I wanted to do. I had just made the decision that something needed to change. She said, Linda, you would be a great life coach. Have you thought about being a life coach? And I was like, oh my gosh, that is what I would be good at. So a lot of times what your next step is, I want y'all to think about this. What have people been telling you that you are really good at? What have people been telling you that you are really good at? Put it in the comments if you want to share just one of the things that people have been telling you that you are really good at. And if that is a viable way or a viable path for you to take to reinvent yourself. When she said, Linda, you're an excellent listener. Awesome. Jacqueline, there's a lot of different things you can do for that. You could become a mediator, right? A professional mediator. I remember when I went to court, I was sued by someone, and the judge had suggested mediation, and we both gave our side, and they were a great listener. So the second step is, now that you've made a decision, is what are your gifts and talents? Writing, you already freelance. Yes. Then the second step is, once you decide that you want to do something different, right? You need to write down, what are your gifts and talents? What are your gifts and talents? Okay? Because a lot of us are sleeping on our gifts and talents. Most people, they said, there's a survey that they took, said most people are not working in a field where their gifts and talents are maximized. Most people are not working in fields where their gifts and talents are maximized. Most people aren't even working in the field that they went to school for, if they went to school, right? People are like having marketing degrees, but they're working at an accounting firm or something, not even working in their field, right? So Jacqueline said, you love to encourage and inspire people to greatness. That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. And so the first thing you're going to do is make a decision. Just decide that you want to do something different. The second thing is, what are your gifts and talents? This is how you reinvent yourself. What are your gifts and talents? What are you good at? What could you do for free? What would you do if nobody gave you a dime? What is something that you just crush? Some people are phenomenal cooks and bakers and seamstresses and different things of this nature. We're living in a lifetime now, y'all, where all you need is a camera and put it on video, and you literally can start teaching people how to do things. You can monetize your magic. Our gifts and talents are magic. I am monetizing my gift of gab. I can talk. I'm a great communicator. I didn't go to communication school. That was a gift. I'm actually monetizing my charisma. I am charismatic. I have great energy. And y'all, I am humbly bragging on myself, and I suggest that you do the same. If you know what you are crushing it in, it is what it is. I have great personality. I'm pleasant on the eye, right? I speak well. I have great energy. People tell me all the time, oh, girl, I just love your energy. I didn't go to energy school. I didn't go to charisma school. I didn't go to communication school. And some of you are sitting on gifts and talents right now that you're not utilizing. Thank you, Jacqueline, for your compliment. So what are your gifts and talents? The first key to reinventing yourself is just decide. Just decide that you need a reinvention. Say it out loud. Declare it out loud. I need a reinvention. Set your mind and your body and your spirit, get them set up because you have decided that you need a reinvention. The second thing is, what are your gifts and talents? If you were to reinvent yourself, what are some of the things that you can monetize, right? Because at this stage of our lives, you need a reinvention. Yes, Jacqueline, at this stage of our lives, beautiful people, we need to be happy. We need to be fulfilled. We need to be free. We need to make the best use of our time. We need to be joyful. We need to be creating the life that we desire and deserve. We have been doing for other people. We have been working for other people. We've been doing all this other stuff. It's time for us at this stage, because if not now, when? If not now, when? If we don't get to doing it now, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen, y'all? When is it going to happen? So I just say that to say that it's time to get busy. It's time to get busy. And so I say that because we can be conditioned and programmed by society to feel like we're too old to dream. We're too old to still be valuable and valid and vibrant and vivacious, because that's what they are saying, that we should be downshifting in life. No, if you are alive, you might as well thrive. If you are here, you might as well persevere. For me to walk away from my salon at 56, I do believe, October 31st, 2020 is when I flew into Atlanta. I've been in California for a long, long time, but I went to Atlanta with my boyfriend, right? And started coaching full time at 56. I'll be 59 June 5th. I might have been 50. No, I think I was 57, y'all. Truth be told, 57. So I'm not just saying this. I'm not just saying this. I am about that life. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you. You're beautiful too. We're all beautiful because we're all made in the image of God. And God gave us all these gifts and talents. So, okay. So I flew into Atlanta. Just stopped doing hair. My 30 years. It was 30 years. I got my license in 1990. I stopped doing hair in 2000. And where we at? 2020. So that's 30 years, right? It would have been 31 years, January 1st, 2021. So 30 and a half years I did hair, and I had the audacity. Hey, Renee, I had the guts, fearfully and wonderfully made. Yes, Jacqueline, I had the guts. I had the guts to reinvent myself, y'all. At 57, I had the guts to reinvent myself. All right. So the third D, let me go over the keys. All right. The first one is decide. If you want to reinvent yourself, you got to make a decision. No more of this jumping back and forth. No more of this double dutch. No more of waiting till the stars align and the seas open up and the sky opens up and you get permission and your money's right and the timing's right. The timing will never be right. I'm just going to say that right now. Your money probably will never be right. Let's just say that right now. It's always going to be something else you need, right? So you got to make a decision. That's the first thing. The second thing is you've got to ask yourself, what are your gifts and talents, and write those down. That'll never happen. No, Renee, girl, we already know that. We too grown to be making all these whack excuses. Make a decision. What are your gifts and talents, right? Because if you're going to reinvent yourself, then you might as well reinvent yourself doing what it is that you really like doing. What brings you joy at this stage of our lives? If we're going to reinvent ourselves, why would you reinvent yourself and do something that, you just doing something different? No, make it mean something. Make it touch your soul. Make it give you some spark, some zest, and some zeal, right? And then the third thing is, y'all, do it. I know that seems real simple because you had to decide to do something different, right? That's just you still in your head when you decide. You just right here. You're like, okay, I'm gonna decide to do something different. Then the second thing is write down what your gifts and talents are. Look at your gifts and talents and say, oh, how can I monetize this? Because you're still gonna need some money, okay? But how can you monetize what it is that your gifts and talents are? One of my gifts is my mouth. Steve Harvey said, and I say this a lot, Steve Harvey said he is still amazed to this day that he makes millions of dollars running his mouth. His mouth. That's what he does. He makes millions of dollars. Nike says, just do it. Yes. And the reason why he makes millions of dollars running his mouth is he decided that he was going to get out there, and he started with the comedy, which was still running his mouth. And he ran his mouth so good, y'all, that he gets paid to run his mouth millions of dollars on his talk show, on Little Big Shots, on that little business show he had where the people came on with their inventions. Now he's got some kind of judge show. He ain't even, listen, y'all, Steve Harvey ain't a judge, but he's got a judge show coming out. Steve Harvey's not even a judge, but he's got a judge show coming out. Do y'all hear me? There's people who've gone to school for years, had to sit on and take their whatever that thing is you got to take when you're a judge. He didn't do none of that. But because of his mouth and his charisma and his energy, right? He's able to get paid millions to run his mouth. So all I'm saying to you is, now that you've decided that you want to reinvent yourself, which means you got to do something different, you first start there. You don't need to know what it is or anything. Just make a decision that this life that I'm living currently, it's not fulfilling me anymore. This life, this job, this whatever, it's not that spark. It's not making me just excited to jump out of bed and say, hey, world, what's up? The second thing is write down what your gifts and talents are. Literally, get a piece of paper. That's what I did. And write down what your gifts and talents are. Then when you write that down, think, okay, how can I monetize this? Because we still gonna need money. How can you monetize it? And the third thing is, what is your plan of activation? It's execution time. So you got to get out of your head and get into action. But you got to start in your head. You got to make the decision. But what is your plan? And that's where most of us get stuck, is we stay here. We stay wishing, hoping, dreaming, praying, wishing, hoping, dreaming, praying, wishing, hoping, dreaming, praying. And we never get to writing out what our gifts and talents are. And we never get to the activation, the execution, the daring. You're gonna have to dare something. I did not know how this coaching thing full time was gonna do. I did it part time for a while. Then I moved 2,500 miles away when my boyfriend got an opportunity in Atlanta. I lived in California forever, on and off since 1978. But you gotta dare, you gotta risk, you gotta do, you gotta activate, you gotta execute, you gotta implement. Because too many of us have all this information without any implementation, which is leading to frustration. So I got a couple things going on. Yes, I got a couple things going on. Right there, you see chatwithlindanow.com. That is where if you feel like, you know what, Linda, I do need a reinvention, but I'm a little stuck. I'm not quite sure. I need some support. I'd really like to talk to you. Chat with Linda Now. That is the link. So you can get your 30-minute, I call them Ignite Your Life sessions. Ignite Your Life sessions, okay? Because it's all about reigniting for many people our lives at this stage of our lives, right? Reigniting our lives at this stage of our life. Because y'all, we got a war in Russia, we got global warming, we got all kinds of stuff going on. And so I really don't know, and I'm not going to say this to be pessimistic. Good for you, Renee, about to try to buy a house. Yes. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but we're seeing all this going on. We don't have as much time as we think. And even if there wasn't a war in Russia, we still don't have as much time as we think, because we don't know when we're going to just check out. So stop getting ready to get ready and bust a move. Stop getting ready to get ready and bust a move. If you need some support, right there, chatwithlindanow.com. I'm good at what I do. I can say that with all authority. It's another thing. If you're good at something, you don't have to be arrogant. You don't have to be a butthole about it. You can be, you can just be confident. That's it. Be confident. I'm confident in who I am because I've reinvented myself. I wasn't always confident. I wasn't always self-assured. I didn't always have nice self-esteem. I had self-sabotage, all kinds of stuff, especially as I got older. But when that reinvention came, when I decided that, no, I'm snatching my power back because I'm too brilliant to be playing the background. I'm too brilliant to not be out front. That's when my life changed. So that's what you want. Chatwithlindanow.com. This has been today's edition of Lunch and Learn with Linda. 3 ways to reinvent yourself. The first is you have got to decide that you want to be different, right? The second is write down your gifts and talents. What are you good at? What could you monetize? And the third thing is activation, implementation, execution. Dare to dream, dare to take risks, dare to put yourself out there. You follow that formula, you will reinvent yourself. I am a witness to it. There's countless other people out here in the world who made a decision that the life that they were living was no longer sustainable, was no longer giving them the oomph, the push that they needed. They wanted something more out of life. They wanted to squeeze more juice out of life. They decided, I am going to do something different. Then they figured out what is that different going to be? What am I good at? And then the last thing they did was they actually implemented. Because again, information without implementation is frustration. Y'all stop getting all these books, stop reading all this stuff, stop going to all these workshops and these conferences and all this, and start applying what you already know. And if you need support, because sometimes, it's like, oh, okay, I think I got it. But you keep going backwards. Talk to somebody. Even if it's not me, talk to somebody. Coaching is really about accountability. Somebody holding you accountable to what you said you wanted. And again, chatwithlinda.com, chatwithlinda.now.com. Now, because we got to do this now, y'all. And I'll see you on the other side. All right. That's it. Thank you for hanging out with us. Bye-bye. Happy Friday.